think it's safe to say a lot of people want to look younger, but they don't necessarily like the idea of having cosmetic surgery. Diane is one of those people, so she went to Dr. Steve Mulholland for some other solutions.
Good, Dr. Mulholland's ready to see you. So bring you right in.
Diane Armstrong is a prototypical type of patient that I would see. She's a working woman. She's active in business. She's got an active social life. She feels young. She diets. She exercises. Despite all her efforts, she looks in the mirror and she goes, "Oh my goodness, who is that?" Thankfully, nowadays we have so many options for these people to look great without a big operation.
I have all these little hereditary kind of lines that I think he calls them marionette lines here. They're not that deep, but you know, they're there, and I teach fitness classes and I'm in front of people for business as well. So those kinds of things I'm noticing more as the light shines on them. It's like, all right, and I don't really feel my age. So I'd like to see those things. I think it would just tighten it up and make you look a little more fresh and alive looking without having to have surgery.
Good to see you again, Diane. Good to see you.
How are you? Good. I'm
excited?
good. Yeah, I am excited.
Well, come on now, let's chat a bit about our procedure today. Come on in and have a seat. Some of your concerns and issues about what you don't like are, number one, loosey-goosey skin under here.
Yes.
Some lines and wrinkles around the mouth, the cheek, and the brow.
Right.
And then as we've aged, we've lost a little bit of volume under the eyes and around the mouth, so we look a little sunken. And so we're going to address all of those today in this combination of non-invasive things. So, okay, Diane, come on in to our procedure room here, and I'll get you nice and comfortable. I'm going to slowly bring back the volume in your under eye that age has taken away. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to compare both sides, make sure they're looking great. Look this way. I'm looking at the shape and the structure. Really happy with what we're bringing out. Things are looking great. Now we're going to go after granny mouth. So I'm going to position the laser now. We'll finish off with the Botox. It's going to look great. 5 years younger in 30 minutes.
I like it.
Diane was that typical example you hear about, you know, a woman who looks in the mirror and she's not seeing who she feels like, and she just sort of wants to get rid of some of those lines. What is amazing, and people are going to be in awe when you see the after photos, all of this was done without cutting. There was no cosmetic surgery involved. Walk us through exactly what you did. We saw the laser on her face.
Well, you're absolutely right. Many patients want to look great, but they don't want a knife-based experience. And we're in a wonderful age right now in plastic surgery enhancement where we don't need to do that. So she was an individual that I see many women like this each week, where we do about 45 minutes of treatment. You saw a little bit of laser. There's some needle-based treatments, some Botox, some new fillers that will last a couple of years, and then some skin tightening techniques rather than throwing away skin, just going under the skin and tightening it. Right. And all that can be done, as you can see, under local anesthetic without the risks of general. And then perhaps, you know, 2 or 3 days off and you're back into the fray.
So what I was asking you was, did any of that hurt? But she's frozen.
Yeah, so there's always discomfort. To say it's painless is usually not being honest with the patient. Yeah. The pain comes from having some anesthesia, so there's a little bit of local, like if you were at a dentist and they're freezing your gums or your teeth. But once the freezing's in, and that's a couple of minutes of discomfort, then there's really no pain.
Now, I can imagine a lot of women would be into having, you know, injections and laser treatment if it's going to make them look as good as Diane did and avoid sort of the really invasive surgery. But how long do these injections actually last? And talk to me a little bit about maintenance.
So in years gone by, we would do an injection. You'd have to come back every 3 months. That's not practical for a working woman, for any woman really who wants to keep going back. Now we have long-term solutions, injectable Voluma type products that will last for 2 years. We have Botox techniques that means you come in twice a year, and a lot of these laser techniques are good for years. So I sum it all up for most patients. If you don't want a facelift, and there's still some that do, but for those that don't, you can look about 5 years younger in less than an hour, and it's going to last you at least a year. And so let's say you buy a car, you have a house, you just kind of look after it. You do a little gardening, you put a little gas in the tank, so there's some maintenance, but it's very affordable maintenance, and to look 5 years younger in perpetuity is a very strong message for people.
Can we talk a little bit about price?
Yeah, so if you're going to go for the whole 5 years younger, you're looking between $3,000 and $4,500 in most practices. So I usually again say, well, it's less than $1,000 a year. So how much is a year? What value is it to you? Yeah. And it's got to be affordable in this economy. It's got to be safe, effective, and last.
Okay, so take a look at these shots right now that we have. We're showing a picture of the before and after of Diane. This is from the side. A huge difference here. This is the overall. You can see it mostly here in the eyes, though.
Yeah, if you look at the overall picture, her skin is tighter, it's firmer. Yeah. She's got appropriate volume, but she still looks natural. She doesn't look done.
That's right.
And many women are just afraid of looking at like a character, like they see on the cover of Us, We, Now, Them, these horrible before and afters. She looks like herself, but at least 5 years younger.
Now I know that there was some work done as well on her in the jaw area. What did you do there?
There's some very new devices that even if you don't have any fat, we can go under the skin, under local, like you do with Diane. It's called Neck Tight, and we can tighten the skin just by heating the undercarpet. So by heating the undercarpet, we induce a contraction, if you will, and look at the difference in her neck.
Take a look at that. So you basically went in there with a very small incision.
A very, like less than 3 millimeters. We didn't remove any skin. We just induced her skin to become younger and get more elastin and collagen.
Yes.
And so these types of neck tight, face tight procedures are very popular because there's no scalpel used.
Right. Now, is there ever a time when you should not consider doing procedures like this, or is there an age that you're too young to start doing these procedures?
I think...
Like, should you start in your 30s? Should you wait till your 60s? Should you not be doing this in your 70s?
Excellent question. So when is it age appropriate?
Yeah.
You know, everybody ages differently. We have hereditary issues. We have life and environmental issues. Yeah. As soon as you start to see signs of wrinkles or deflation, either grow old gloriously with that and celebrate it, or then you start to fight it. And when you start to fight it, simple things done a couple times a year, and you could look really 5 years to 8 years younger for the rest of your life. I think we're entering a period where you don't need to do a scalpel or knife-based surgery to look great forever. And great to me is 5 to 8 years younger than your stated age.
Yes.
So if you're 55, you're always looking 48. If you're 65, you're looking 58.
I like the sound of that. How old is Diane? Do you mind?
Diane is in her mid-50s. She's about 56, and she looks a good 48, 49 when she emerged out of that. Yeah.
Do you see a day when people will, decide in the morning that they want to get some of these procedures done over the lunch hour and get some laser done and have a sandwich and go back to work? It just seems to be so easy. You'd think that the entire procedure, it used to be a very big deal to get work that had that kind of impact. But to see her looking this good and knowing that she took maybe 2 or 3 days off afterwards, it almost seems conceivable that this sort of cosmetic enhancement can become so easy, like a daytime thing.
I think a daytime is realistic. A lot of companies promote the lunchtime makeover.
Yeah.
You need to take the rest of the day off at least, and preferably a weekend.
Don't go back to work that day.
Unless we get something miraculous in the sandwich that turns back the clock. You still need to take some time off.
All right. When you do get these clients that are coming in, if someone were to come in and say, okay, I would like to get a facelift, is there ever a time when you say to them, you know what, you don't need to be that invasive. We can do the same things you want and use technology that is not going to be that invasive?
That's a great question. Usually when I meet someone, I ask them, are their goals to look their best? Are they interested in surgery or non-surgery? Almost everybody says, well, show me what non-surgery can do.
Yeah.
I show them in the mirror what we could do with these non-surgical techniques, show them some before and afters, and many patients will go, wow, I can do that without a facelift? I'm there.
Absolutely.
But there's some patients who, if you leave it too long, if the car is too broken down, the house is too dilapidated, you need to renovate a little more intensively.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of patients I see now are between, say, 30 and 50. They're looking pretty good, and they just want to keep looking gooder. Without anything invasive.
While Ruth wanted to look as good as she felt, Dr. Mulholland suggested Fractora, and the results were incredible. Take a look.
I'm a busy professional. I'm a single mom with 3 kids. My life is crazy active. Well, I don't really think that I've done a good job taking care of my skin as far as protecting it from the sun. I do have some sun damage. It's probably accelerated the aging process a little bit.
Ruth is really the prototypical patient for this type of program. She's in her 40s and her 50s. In her younger years, she enjoyed the sunshine. Maybe people smoked. They gained weight, lost weight, maybe had kids, job stress. And suddenly they wake up one day, they look in the mirror and go, oh my goodness, who is this? I feel young, I'm working out and exercising, but all those years have added up to lines and wrinkles, deflation and descent. Ruth's specific procedure on each visit would consist of the Fractora device, the electrical current needling device that created the little microscopic holes going down into the skin. That in itself creates new collagen and elastin, but we take advantage of the actual conduit, the pore that we've created right into the deep skin to put on the SkinCeutical product that permeates the skin with a whole bunch of bioactive chemicals, again augmenting and synergizing and amplifying that new collagen, new elastin, new ground substance.
I'm feeling amazing actually, really happy with the results. I think that it's brought sort of a restorative look to my skin and I feel really good about how it looks. I think I've achieved that youthful glow that I was hoping to get. And I'm really happy.
Like a whole new woman. Let's go to break. It's Makeover Madness. Stay with us. More coming up.
Morning, Jen.
Morning.
Hi guys, do you want to look 5 years younger in 30 minutes? I do. Move over, Karen. But right now, Karen is on the table. We are here with Dr. Stephen Mulholland, and we are doing a procedure. This is a non-surgical facelift, and that's what everybody's interested in these days, non-surgical. And this is the perfect solution. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. Nice to be here at Spa Medica. What is this non-surgical facelift?
We use these little electrodes, very smooth, to deliver a radio frequency electrical current into the skin. Very simple treatment. We spend about 10 minutes a zone, and that will heat, and then this Fractora firm maintains the heat. You can see from that thermal camera, the white areas are the exact temperature for firming and tightening and wrinkle reduction. We'll maintain that for about 10 minutes. Then we usually switch tips to a light-based device, like this Lumica, and after we've done the firming and the tightening, we work on color correction. And so our color correction uses good old-fashioned pulse light, laser-type light, to get rid of brown spots, get rid of little telangiectasias or red spots. And once we've done the color correction, and that takes about 5 minutes, then we pull out our lifting tip, and this has been very popular. This lifting tip uses little tiny micro needles, but they're silicone coated, so you don't get any superficial disruption. They go down deep into the skin, and this is all done under topical. This young lady, Karen here today, just has topical anesthetic cream, and this will provide the tightening effect. So it goes into the skin, there's no disruption because they're silicone coated, and it tightens and lifts. And this triple therapy, this Fractora facial, will often give you about a 5-year younger appearance. Less wrinkle, less laxity, tight, firm, and color corrected.
And this is going to last?
Yeah, so let's say you do a series of 4 treatments, once every 3 weeks. This will last the rest of your life as long as you maintain. So you maybe do 2 to 3 treatments a year, and your skin should look firmer, brighter, and more youthful.
Wow. Can you go to work right after you get it done, or do you have to wait?
You're little, as you can see from Karen, you're a little puffy, little red, but a little makeup on, you can often go right to work, or you do it late in the afternoon and go the next day, or you do it on a Saturday and you're back on a Monday. There's very little downtime with this.
A non-surgical facelift. Okay, here at Spa Medica, we see some before and afters right over there. We got the befores on the left, I'm assuming.
Yes.
And then the afters on the right.
You can see they go up and down, actually, side by side. And there's less wrinkle. They're tighter, they're firmer, and they didn't have to have any scalpel, no surgery.
Sounds good. Okay, Karen, you continue with the procedure. We'll leave. We'll see you with more of the latest and greatest here at Spa Medica, a non-surgical facelift. Back to the station with you guys.